A quick note in this video before we get into it, the gameplay I'm showing in the background is irrelevant to the video. I'm just using it as a way to format a video. So ignore the gameplay, that's not relevant to the video, but we're going to get into some stuff about WhatNot. So WhatNot, for those that know, is obviously a sort of bidding site. It's sort of similar to eBay, although it has a live streaming element, which seems to be a popular thing with these, bidding platforms now, having live auctions and stuff. But WhatNot, to me, is like the worst one because of how it's been promoted by people, how it's used by a lot of people. So, for example, with services like eBay, it tends to be you can get sort of any household items on there. Everyday items, you can just kind of go on eBay, bid on them, or buy them straight up. And there's actually some genuine businesses on eBay. Sure, you've got some scalpers and some scammers, whatever. But a lot of what you get on eBay tends to be real, like sort of smaller sellers or actual businesses that are trying their best to obviously basically sell stock, gives us a new home, whatever. It's very simple stuff, right? WhatNot is very much a sort of scalper and scammers paradise. They have like price gouged so much stuff on WhatNot. There is so much stuff from like Lego, pop vinyls, Funko Pop vinyls, Pokemon games, Pokemon cards that are just insanely priced. And like you'll see, like you have listings for stuff like this. That's nearly $1 million, right? Now I'm not sure if that's because obviously that's how they sort of list it like that, and obviously they negotiate the price, or how they really do it like that. But seeing these listings like that, it's kind of crazy. Plus as well, I've gone through obviously WhatNot before. I've made a video about Pokemon prices, and some of the prices I saw for Pokemon games, like 12,000 euros for Pokemon Blue in Germany. That's like complete and boxed. And really, you look at the prices that these guys are charging. Now, that's not to say everyone on WhatNot is a scammer or a scalper. I do think there are some genuine people who are using WhatNot to obviously sell their collections because obviously they're on hard times, or they've decided they've built their collection up enough that they want to sell it. And I do understand that sort of aspect. I was obviously a collector and obviously a gamer and, all that sort of stuff. I understand that some people will eventually have a collection of games or cards or Lego sets or something, and they eventually want to get rid of it because obviously they don't really use it as much, or they don't need it. And I totally get that. But also, WhatNot to me, it just seems so fake. Like you look at the advertising for WhatNot, it's always some young person in their like early 20s saying, "Oh, I've just built my massive like Lego collection or Funko collection," from WhatNot, or some guy unboxing Pokemon cards, and it's like, yeah, there's a reason there's not really much of supply for things like Pokemon cards or Yu-Gi-Oh or stuff like that, because obviously the scalpers keep going in, buying them all up from places like, like your Tesco's, your Asda's, your Walmarts, anywhere like that. And then they flip them on WhatNot. And the money they make is, like, they're making, like, thousands compared to what they're buying the cards and stuff for. So, there's that as well. And like I said, that's not to say everyone who uses WhatNot is a scammer or a scalper. I do get there will always be genuine people on these platforms trying to build their collection, trying to, sell stuff that they've obviously bought over the years and accumulated and want to get rid of. But also, some of the stuff they're charging for, like, they're not rare. Like, a lot of Funko Pops, for example, aren't rare. Like, the market for them tends to be, like, a few bucks per Funko when you try and resell it. It's not like they're really rare. It's collectibles in a lot of cases. A lot of them are kind of mass-produced. Same with Lego sets. A lot of Lego sets aren't, like, rare. They're mass-produced by Lego, and if they don't succeed, oh, wow, no big deal. They just pulled the line, Now, sure, over time, obviously, more and more of these, like, playing cards get, destroyed, and more of these Lego sets get pieces missing, all these Funkos, like they get taken out of the box, whatever. But a lot of the problem I have with WhatNot also comes from obviously the people who use it, like the YouTubers and stuff you see promote WhatNot tend to always be YouTubers that are resellers and will make a whole video going to gaming conventions or something, buying up a bunch of like stock of like retro games or playing cards or something like that. And then they will just flip it. They'll tell people, "Hey, check out my live stream on WhatNot," where they're gonna, live stream themselves, with all the stuff they've bought, and then they have a mass, inflated price. Plus, as well, another aspect I don't like about WhatNot is personally, I do think that the whole live auction stuff does work, but obviously I also think the giveaways that a lot of these people will try and run are kind of annoying, because a lot of the giveaways that are ran tend to be for, crap that is just not really worth paying for, or stuff that, you could easily go and get from a shop if these guys weren't already, you know, just buying up all the stock and then obviously selling it on Whatnot or whatever for like 100% up, upcharge. But yeah, really with Whatnot, my personal grievance with the platform is obviously I think the giveaways do seem kind of fake. A lot of the giveaways tend to be, stuff that you could easily buy because it's mass produced. It's very cheap to buy, and the idea of getting it as a giveaway is kind of all right until obviously, you realise that you could have got it for like $3 from your local shop and not had to pay shipping or anything. Then you also had to, consider obviously these sort of people that use it, like for example Phoenix Resale, Chase Off at the Right Price. These YouTubers who are resellers and obviously they just resell stuff they buy. And they make a whole video, like 40-minute video, buying stuff to then promote their Whatnot store. And you also got to obviously think that the advertising is just so fake, man. Like I don't know anyone in their 20s that actually uses Whatnot. I'm 22, and most people I know in the 20s, they use Vinted or they use eBay. Like no one I know uses Whatnot besides like one of my cousins who's like 30, But that's just how it is. Let me know what you guys think. Do you guys think Whatnot is a scam? Do you guys like Whatnot? Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Am I wrong about Whatnot? Yeah, tell me in the comments, Just keep it civil. I don't want anyone like trying to threaten the roof of my head or anything like that. But yeah, guys, let me know what you think. If you're new, make sure you subscribe, like, and follow. I've been EC, and I'm signing out. Peace.